Good afternoon and welcome to the 2020 Safer Awards hosted by the Police and Crime Commissioner for Hampshire, Michael Lane. My name is Richard Andrews and I will be your guide through this afternoon's proceedings as we celebrate the achievements of remarkable people in our communities. Now, I'm sure I don't need to explain why we are holding this year's ceremony in this way. It's obviously a great disappointment that we can't celebrate in person, and holding the ceremony in this way does in no way diminish the achievements we'll be talking about this afternoon. To formally open the event, I would like to invite our host to say a few words, so please welcome the Police and Crime Commissioner for Hampshire, Isle of Wight, Portsmouth and Southampton, Michael Lane.
I'm delighted to be here at the Safer Awards 2020. These are exceptional times. This has been an exceptional year, and I don't say that lightly. COVID and all the other things that are going on and impacted by the nature of our living in different circumstances and with pressures upon us that we could not have anticipated mean that it is really important to both set something that is normally what I do at this time of year, which is to recognize people who've gone the extra mile. But on this year, I want to be clear that so very many people have been exceptional, so very many have been flexible, so very many have brought their heart and their professionalism to delivering safer, to protecting the people we serve, our communities, our neighbours, and people who are vulnerable and at risk. And so this is a special year in exceptional circumstances, and all of you are here today supporting those who have been put forward for awards and are part of their teams or part of their family support should understand that this is an extraordinary bunch of people who in these times have found a way to make a difference that matters and goes beyond anything that any of us might have expected. So I want to congratulate everybody for all they've done to protect people this year. I want to recognize it as an awards time when people have had to be flexible and different from anything they might have expected. But to know we have together, you, the award nominees, and those who receive the awards, have made a difference to people's lives practically, protected them, and in some cases saved their lives. So well done to everybody. And now let's get on with presenting the awards to those who are here today in a more personal way. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that introduction and for your assistance in advance in announcing the winners of the awards. As you touched upon, many people volunteer their time through Hampshire Constabulary to make their communities safer. Here is Chief Constable Olivia Pinkney with a few words herself about the value of volunteers.
It's lovely to be able to be part of these awards today, and such a shame we can't be together, but nonetheless, it's important to recognise and to celebrate. And as Chief Constable, I am so aware of the brilliant value that volunteers bring, be they cadets and cadet leaders, be they our fantastic Special Constabulary, our wider police staff volunteers. Each and every one makes a profound difference to the service we bring to our communities. But also, if we go all the way back to Robert Peel's words that the public are the police and the police are the public, it is essential that our constabulary has this direct connection through our volunteers with our communities. So my thanks to each and every one, and of course, congratulations to all the award winners.
Thank you, Chief Constable, for those kind words to our volunteers and to all those who are watching today. It is now my pleasure to get down to the important business of getting this awards ceremony underway. As you've already heard, every one of you watching and the volunteers you represent help to keep us all safer and do an amazing job in your local communities and beyond. Being part of the ceremony in itself is recognition of the contribution you make, and I hope you, your families and friends all enjoy the afternoon. The first group of awards this afternoon recognise and celebrate the work of those volunteers that directly support the work of Hampshire Constabulary. The first Safer Award of the afternoon is for Police Support Volunteer of the Year. Over to you, Commissioner, to announce the winner.
Through his award nomination, I'm aware that there are multiple instances where this officer has gone above and beyond in his role as Special Constable over the last 18 months. I am delighted to announce, therefore, that it goes to Special Sergeant Shane Phillips.
Thanks, Commissioner. Special Sergeant Phillips has proven himself to be a highly capable officer, dealing confidently with many complex incidents. Two notable incidents took place at the end of 2018. In one case, while single crewed, he stopped a car that contained a number of identified perfume thieves, recovering many thousands of pounds worth of high-grade perfume and resulting in 4 people being charged with theft. 2 days later, he stopped a van being driven by a high-risk missing person who was believed to be en route to attack another person. Shane intervened before the subject was able to achieve his aim, putting himself in harm's way to protect the public and arresting a known violent individual. Not a bad week in the office. Last year, he also used local knowledge and initiative to link a burnt-out vehicle with an ongoing murder investigation, and was also the first on scene at a stabbing incident and had to administer emergency first aid to the individual. Congratulations on your award, Shane. The second award, focusing on the volunteers supporting the Constabulary, is the Safer Award for Police Support Volunteer Team of the Year. So, Commissioner, over to you again.
This team play a crucial role in reducing the operational demand being placed upon regular officers, and they have delivered great results. I'm delighted to announce this award goes to the Special Constabulary Arrests Team.
Thanks, Commissioner. This is a team that have taken on a challenge and delivered on all fronts. In a focused 3-month period last year, they completed 19 shifts and made 14 arrests directly, assisting with another 4, and called upon 66 properties to update intelligence. This was on top of the usual response work. The feedback from the regular colleagues has been very positive, and the arrests carried out by this team have helped bring offenders to justice, reduce the risk of associated harm to the public, reduce the demand placed upon others who have managed these outstanding suspects, and provided a unique opportunity for professional skills development, as well as demonstrating how the Constabulary can be more effective and efficient in how they utilise their existing special constables. Congratulations to the whole team. The next award is the Award for Special Police Support Volunteer of the Year. Commissioner, over to you.
This award goes to a young person who has taken his passion for a project and used it to help others who've signed up. I'm delighted to announce that this award goes to Alfie Payne from Winchester Community Court.
Alfie started volunteering with Winchester Community Court when he was 14 years old, progressing into the coordinator role due to his commitment and desire to have more involvement. Alfie has adapted the processes to ensure that he is fully utilised and can take some of the pressure away from the leaders. Alfie has improved the procedure for completing the paperwork, making this electronic so it can be worked on anywhere, allowing people's time to be used more efficiently, while allowing the leaders to see the progress being made. Alfie has shown a real passion in delivering community court and continually looks at ways the service delivery can be improved. He attends the senior meetings and is able to give the viewpoint from a young person, ensuring that the programme stays relevant. He regularly takes on additional work to assist in training, mentoring new volunteers, and has arranged additional training when he's identified an issue. Congratulations on your award, Alfie. The fourth award, focusing on the Constabulary, is the Police Support Volunteer Team of the Year. Commissioner.
There's a group of people who are relatively a new part to the policing family, and they have become such an integral part that we wonder how we managed without them. This Safer Award goes to the chaplaincy team.
The Force Chaplaincy team, led by lead chaplain Reverend Dom Jones, offer personal, practical and spiritual care to all officers, staff and their families through operational support, being a resource where faith and operational issues interact. By supporting police personnel when dealing with major and critical incidents, and always having a smile on their faces and usually a bag of cakes. The basic principle of chaplaincy is to provide safe, independent, confidential support and understanding to all, whether or not they have a defined religious belief. But don't just take my word for it. Some of the phrases used around the force have included an integral part of the team, excellent, helpful, supportive, making a big difference, nothing short of superb, an ear to listen to and a shoulder to lean on. Warm words indeed. Many congratulations to Dom and the whole team. The next 3 awards are a welcome addition to the other categories in recognising the excellent work police cadets give in supporting Hampshire Constabulary. Police cadet units are now well established in Hampshire and the Isle of Wight, with numerous units across the Hampshire Constabulary policing area. It's my pleasure to announce that the next award is the SAFER Award for the Police Cadet of the Year. Over to you, Commissioner.
This award goes to someone who stands out amongst a standout crowd, as a cadet who has volunteered many hours of her time supporting important crime prevention initiatives in the New Forest. The SAFER Award goes to Tegan Bailey.
Op Coman and Op Cloak are both initiatives run by the New Forest local policing team that are designed to address and reduce volume crime affecting the lives of people in those communities, and Tegan has been involved in both. Operation Coman involves a preventative approach to tackling vehicle crime in beauty spot car parks, where cadets and local officers have carried out extensive patrols and engagement with members of the public, with the intention of identifying potential victims and educating them in respect of keeping their vehicles and possessions safe while using the car parks. Operation Cloak is similar to Op Coman, but relates to a joint preventative response to tackling burglaries within the New Forest area. Tegan has assisted on numerous occasions and provided valuable crime prevention advice and reassurance to local residents. Tegan has a clear understanding of the objectives and benefits of both operations. She encourages her peers to assist and has mentored them to assist with these and similar operations, which greatly assist the local policing team. Congratulations, Tegan. The 6th award is the Police Cadet Team of the Year award. Over to you, Commissioner.
The award goes to a team that has built strong community links which have helped them greatly in their successes, as well as, I recognise, the volunteering of an impressive 400 hours between them. The SAFER Award goes to the Portsmouth North Cadet Unit.
Through their positive engagement with the community, the Portsmouth North Cadets have received a grant from the Lord Mayor of Portsmouth to go towards their unit. They also have a positive relationship with the Mayor, thanks to the commitment of the staff and cadets to volunteer in the city. As such, this year the unit has volunteered more than 400 hours, which between just 4 cadets and 4 staff equates to nearly 54 hours per team member, a remarkable effort. Such events the cadets have been involved with include the Great South Run, the Poppy Appeal and Remembrance Day. The cadets also secured funding from the Tesco coin collection, all of which goes towards improving the well-being of the cadets and the running of the unit. Congratulations to the Portsmouth North Cadets. The final award in this section is the Police Cadet Leader of the Year award. Commissioner.
This award goes to an individual who embodies what it is to be a cadet leader. The SAFER Award goes, I'm delighted to say, to Cadet Leader Matt James.
Matt has always taken on and managed tasks which are over and above what is expected of him as a volunteer. He is always willing to help and has been a tremendous support to the Cadet Central team and to the other units and leaders. He's a role model to other leaders within the scheme and represents the constabulary to the highest standards. He is committed to his role and his cadets, and the force continually receive outstanding feedback from staff internally and partners regarding the work that he's done with the cadets. He is most deserving of this nomination and recognition for his contribution to the cadet scheme. Congratulations, Matt. So far this evening, we have celebrated the work of those volunteers that directly support the work of the Constabulary. This next section is for those volunteers that have directly supported the Police and Crime Commissioner in his work. The next award is for the Youth Commission Volunteer of the Year. And to begin, I would like to give people a quick glimpse of what the Youth Commission as a whole have been up to this year. I know the Police and Crime Commissioner would like to say a few words about the Youth Commission before he announces the winner. So over to you, Commissioner.
This is always a highlight for me in any year to publicly be able to say how much the Youth Commission matter, how much what they do makes a difference for their peer group, and how much I respect and enjoy their company. This has been a challenging year. I make no apologies for repeating it at the beginning and probably at the end of this awards event today. But the challenge has been particular to very many of our young people who have been vulnerable, who have had their expected ambitions and futures altered significantly, who have found themselves unable to move and mix in the way that they might have anticipated and learn and grow as they did that. So the work of the Youth Commission has been even more important than it always is, to engage and hear the voice of their peer group, to engage with them about issues in their lives and the impact of COVID upon those lives, and to make a difference and to be advocates for those voices, those opinions, those risks, those vulnerabilities into the organizations that make the decisions. And this year, the Youth Commission have managed that significantly. They have contributed to decision making. They have expressed powerfully the voices of young people. And in that time, we've managed to recruit some more people to join the Commission. But I also want to make a point amongst we, the volunteers, and to my Youth Commission especially, that they have lived that time of vulnerability and risk amongst themselves, and they have been an example of how to support each other with the challenges that they face as a community themselves, as a group themselves. And that impact of their thoughtfulness, their care for each other, and the real benefit that they have sought one by one as they maybe felt more stressed on some days or less stressed on other days, to strengthen and support and be there for each other is the example of what we want all our communities to replicate. So this year, as every year, I'm delighted with what the Youth Commission do, but this year particularly, I want to publicly acknowledge my thanks for what they've done and how privileged I have felt to be a part of their journey in these challenging times. Today, as every year, I was due to virtually present an award to the member of our Youth Commission who had stood out this year for their significant achievements. This year, the winner is James Bowman. It will surprise few, if any, of our Youth Commission or those who follow these awards that he is the award winner for his outstanding contributions and performance. But it is with great sadness that I must inform you he passed away on Friday. We have spoken with his father to offer our condolences, of course. And in that conversation with his father said how much James valued his work with the Commission and engagement with his fellow members and peer group. It was therefore an honour to hear that in memory of his son, his father was keen that the award nomination featured still in this ceremony and asked that we still announce the award today. For his work with the serious violence priority and all that he has done to support and help others, and now, in his memory, and to recognise all his significant contributions, I formally announce the winner of the Youth Commission Volunteer of the Year to be James Bowman. And now I'd like to share with you the citation for James, the formal citation. James has been a volunteer with the Youth Commission for 3 years, and last year took on additional responsibility to lead a team of members looking at the issue of serious violence. James fully embraced the role, showing great skills in terms of encouraging and developing members, leading by example, relishing the opportunity to throw himself into training to ensure his knowledge is up to date, and representing young people's voices at violence reduction group meetings across our area. James's passion to change his peers' lives for the better is always visible, and he constantly champions young people from all backgrounds to have their say. He has met with young offenders to listen to their views, as well as running numerous workshops with groups such as the Prince's Trust and YMCA. James is a team player who will always step up in all elements of the Youth Commission. During lockdown, he embraced a new challenge and learnt how to create and edit a video of members' work to share on our social media platforms, as well as posting daily inspirational quotes to the rest of the volunteers to keep their spirits up. Truly living the "we're all in this together" motto. The issue of serious violence is never far from his thoughts, though, and the plans he had made for a peace sculpture in Basingstoke were not going to be stopped by a pandemic. Adapting the original idea for a large-scale project, he met with various agencies. An agreement was reached to work in partnership with Hampshire Cultural Trust to commission a sculptor to run workshops with small numbers of young people who are at risk of or have experienced knife crime. James attended the sessions to hear what the young people had to say and educate them on the causes and devastating effects carrying knives can bring. During one workshop, the MP, Maria Miller, visited and he impressed her with his desire to make a difference, and then took it in his stride when he was immediately interviewed by BBC South Today only moments later. Please give James a deserved round of applause in commemoration of all the wonderful work he did and all that we will take forward inspired by his memory. I hope that the comments we've heard of James already and that citation make clear why he is so worthy a winner. But I want to add too a note I've had from the Chief Constable. The Youth Commission are a valued team within the whole Hampshire Constabulary family, and we all share in the sadness of losing such a great ambassador for good. And that's from the Chief Constable Olivia Pinkney, on behalf of Hampshire Constabulary. Now, this sad deeply sad element of the loss that we have would, I think, draw from James this encouragement. Please stand up, get on, and keep adding value to protect those who are vulnerable. Keep doing the work that he so valued, he'd want us to do. And so we should press on now, recognizing the contribution that James made, valuing it for all time, and encouraged by it to renew our efforts to make that difference, all of us, his peer group and all of those who support them, and reach out into the community to protect and keep people safer. And so at this point, I return us to the fact, as James was here as a key celebrant of an award deservedly won, that we go on to commend and congratulate and celebrate the successes of the awards winners we've already heard of and those that we now move on to.
We now move on to the SAFER Award for volunteer involvement with the Independent Custody Visitors, a scheme run by the Police and Crime Commissioner. Independent custody visitors carry out unannounced visits to custody suites. The visitors make up 4 panels which cover suites in Hampshire, the Isle of Wight, Portsmouth and Southampton, making sure those in custody are treated fairly and with dignity, irrespective of what they've been arrested for. Last year, independent custody visitors made almost 150 visits at all times of day and night, 7 days a week, and their contribution to keeping people safer is a vital but little known one. Commissioner.
For the first time in this category, I have this year decided to recognise an entire panel for their work. And that's because of the dedication of every team member. And in this time of COVID, the support that comes from a team effort is ever more pertinent. And it seems to me that the interaction between the team members joins together to be the example of excellence in this area. So it is my pleasure to announce that the first winner of Independent Custody Visitor Panel of the Year goes to the Isle of Wight panel.
The Isle of Wight panel, led by Richard Gully, has been a shining example to the rest of the county of how to operate, embracing diversity and supporting new team members through excellent standards of training, teamwork and flexibility. They have piloted new working practices and improved data collection methods. Every team member has been dedicated to providing an excellent level of service to the scheme and have made special effort to ensure that detainees are well cared for and treated with dignity while in custody. Among other routine duties, Richard has devised a training logbook to ensure that new team members are aware of the standards and benchmarks required to meet the national standard of custody visiting. This will be adopted by other panels. Thank you and congratulations to the whole team. The next award is the first of our joint awards and recognises 2 independent custody visitors who have gone above and beyond what is expected of them during the coronavirus pandemic. Commissioner.
As in so many areas of our society and volunteering, it has been a challenge to maintain a level of service to the public during this pandemic. But these 2 individuals have ensured this vitally important work has continued. The joint winners of the Independent Custody Visitor of the Year Award are Carol Green and Pauline Shawnee from the South West panel.
Carol and Pauline have both made exceptional contributions to custody visiting, and they've gone beyond their roles to support the safety of those in custody during the pandemic. They were the only 2 members of the South West panel that did not fall into a vulnerable group and could therefore continue visiting. Both Carol and Pauline willingly volunteered to continue frequent visiting, ensuring the well-being, safety and dignity of the detainees during a period of great uncertainty and rapid change. Their exceptional services to custody visiting, particularly during COVID-19, have ensured that the OPCC were able to continue to monitor vulnerable people facing difficult times. Carol will be moving away from Hampshire early next year after 5 years of service as a volunteer and will be sadly missed by the South West panel. Congratulations to Carol and Pauline on your award. It is now a pleasure to move on to the award for the Neighbourhood Watch Volunteer of the Year. The whole of the Neighbourhood Watch undertakes an invaluable role in the local community, and so many volunteers give their time to help others. Before the Commissioner announces the winner, we'd like to share a short video with you from a previous winner on why volunteering for Neighbourhood Watch is so important.
I am really passionate about volunteering for Neighbourhood Watch. Neighbourhood Watch for me is about looking after our community. There are a lot of people at some time in our life that feel vulnerable for whatever reason. We might be feeling low, or we might be having physical health problems, or we may have been victims of crime. So at these times of feeling vulnerable, I feel that it's very important for somebody like me and anybody else that wishes to volunteer for Neighbourhood Watch just to step up and look after our neighbours, because that's what it's about. It's about looking after each other.
I hope that video will have reinforced the message that we could all encourage to anyone thinking of joining a Neighbourhood Watch team. The value of those local communities, very local communities, for the work that they do is evident. And amongst a significant population of people volunteering their time to be in Neighbourhood Watches, to find a winner of an award means they must stand out very significantly. This afternoon, we'll be recognising one of those volunteers, and I'm pleased to announce that the award for Neighbourhood Watch Volunteer of the Year goes to Kate Bishop.
Kate has supported Neighbourhood Watch in Basingstoke by working on the steering committee and also taking on the extra task of secretary, which is in addition to her primary role as an area coordinator. Working with the neighbourhood police team and borough councillors, she has managed to increase the Neighbourhood Watch coverage, and now there are over 1,200 members. Much of this increased traction is down to raising the Neighbourhood Watch profile on social media. Her communications network shares information on crime and safety issues, as well as many matters of community interest, and Kate is eager to signpost members to relevant resources. She has brought social media expertise to the Basingstoke group and is eager to share her knowledge with other schemes. She's arranged monthly meetings for members and the public where they can meet councillors and Neighbourhood Watch representatives to discuss mutual concerns. Kate is a younger member of the team who has made a valuable input to community safety in Basingstoke. Many congratulations, Kate. Now, I believe, Commissioner, you have something extra to add to this?
I would also like to recognise the runner-up in this category to receive a certificate of recognition for the great work she does for Neighbourhood Watch in her local community. And so my congratulations go to Alison Andrews.
Now we will move on to volunteers who directly support the work of the Police and Crime Commissioner in his goals to support victims and reduce offending, and have made a real impact in their local community to keep people safer. For these awards, we went out, in a virtual and socially distanced way of course, to our communities and partners to invite nominations, and we're delighted with the level of response we received. It certainly made it a difficult job for the Commissioner to choose the winners. The first award in this set recognises the work of volunteers who support the managing of offenders via services funded by the Police and Crime Commissioner to help reduce offending in local communities. Those shortlisted for the Safer Award for Outstanding Volunteer in Offender Management are Jane Millard, Sasha Birchall, Ian Sparshott, Simon Girling and Sue Cobb. To announce the winner, to the Commissioner.
With a hugely impressive number of volunteer hours and his dedication to helping and supporting service users, I'm pleased to announce that the Safer Award for Outstanding Volunteer Support in Offender Management goes to Ian Sparshott.
Ian is a volunteer with the Community Rehabilitation Company, which provides probation services for low and medium risk offenders across Hampshire and the Isle of Wight, including Southampton and Portsmouth. He has dedicated the past 3 years to this, completing over 700 hours volunteering both in the support group and meeting service users in the Southampton area. He has brought extensive benefits to service users and to other volunteer mentors, some of which have also been service users. Ian's commitment has undoubtedly contributed to the survival and impact of a local network group that assists service users to secure housing and part or full-time employment. Ian's lived experience as an ex-service user gained him the respect of the service users. It has also enabled him to help other volunteers better understand their role. He has had a real impact on the development, support and motivation of other volunteers, playing a significant role in their training. Ian's commitment, resourcefulness and creativity has not faltered during the pandemic. His continued support has been of huge value during the really challenging months that the first lockdown presented to the service, impacting not just the service's management and support of service users, but also the services of other organisations that work alongside them. Congratulations, Ian. Now, Commissioner, I believe you have something to add here as well.
I would also like to recognise the runners-up in this category to receive certificates of recognition for their outstanding voluntary contribution in offender management. So my congratulations go to Jane Millard, Sasha Birchall, Simon Girling and Sue Cobb.
The next award recognises the work of volunteers who support victims of crime via services funded by the Police and Crime Commissioner to enable free support to be offered to those affected by crime and traumatic events. Before we announce the award nominations, let's hear from one of those services, the Victim Care Service.
Hi, my name's Tory and I'm the Engagement and Communications Coordinator for the Victim Care Service provided by Victim Support. I'm here to tell you today what an amazing job our volunteers do to help people cope with and recover from crime. In Hampshire Isle of Wight, we support about 3,500 people per year on average, and due to some of the intensity and time of those support needs, it would be impossible to be able to do that with our paid workforce alone. Therefore, that's why volunteers are essential in ensuring that the service is reaching and supporting everybody that needs it. Especially during these challenging times, where learning to work with and support people in these circumstances is even more vital to their well-being. Crime itself can make people feel alone, and with lockdown and coronavirus added on top of that, it's no surprise that we are seeing more people feeling more isolated. Volunteers are making sure that they are supporting people and keeping those wheels and cogs turning, whilst we've been working really hard in the background, adjusting and adapting the service to this new way. Now more than ever, volunteers are really making such a difference, a real difference to people's lives and the community as a whole. And their understanding, patience and commitment to helping people in a difficult time of their lives has not wavered at all. So the service is really honoured to be able to work with such a great bunch of people, and thank you for all of your time and commitment through this challenging period.
I'm pleased to announce that the nominations for the SAFER Award for Outstanding Volunteer Support to Victims are Lorraine Perry-Murdoch from Victim Support and Gina Porrett from Aurora New Dawn. Commissioner.
The recipient of this award is someone who offers support across a broad range of challenges faced by victims, being their advocate and providing, as they, the victims, declare, invaluable support. The winner is Lorraine Perry-Murdoch.
Lorraine has been volunteering with the Victim Care Service for nearly 4 years. Over this period, the service has continually strived to improve the support offered to victims, and Lorraine has been reliable and consistent throughout. She is a strong advocate for the Victim Care Service, attending events to highlight and promote the service. Lorraine has trained in a multitude of crime types, including hate crime, road traffic collisions, harassment and sexual violence, and always gives her everything to support clients, including actively listening to their needs and completing safety planning, all showing compassion and empathy as the service looks to build the resilience of their clients. Lorraine is not afraid to push for more for her clients, whether that is encouraging them or advocating on their behalf. Despite all the challenges that COVID-19 has brought, Lorraine has remained a full supporter of the Victim Care Service and has provided support to more than 15 individuals since March alone. Lorraine is an active member of the volunteering team, attending volunteer meetings regularly and is always amongst the first volunteer for any tasks that need a helping hand. The Victim Care Service really cannot stress how valuable the support is that Lorraine gives to clients, assisting them to move beyond the crime, and how much the Victim Care Service appreciate all the time and effort she puts into volunteering. Thank you and congratulations, Lorraine. Now to you, Commissioner.
I would also like to recognise the runner-up in this category to receive a certificate of recognition for her outstanding work in supporting victims of domestic violence. My congratulations to Gina Perrett.
The next award of the afternoon goes to those who volunteer their time to help deliver a project or service provided by partners that has been commissioned by the Police and Crime Commissioner. Over to you, Commissioner.
The winner of this award is a fine example of contributions made to public safety that can take place behind closed doors and may be missed for the excellence that they provide, but they are just as important. The winner of the Commissioned Partner Volunteer of the Year award goes to Cliff McClelland.
Cliff has been volunteering with Restorative Solutions since undertaking his initial training in September 2018. He has followed a varied path in life with careers in the military, finance and running corporate events. In 2016, Cliff was ordained at Winchester Cathedral alongside his wife Sarah and joined the chaplaincy team at HMP Winchester and has been an inordinate advocate for restorative justice within the prison since becoming a restorative practitioner. Cliff has been fundamental to the work within the prison. He escorts other practitioners to meet offenders, assists with talking about restorative justice to the men within the prison, and has attended several prison staff meetings to talk about his experiences as a volunteer and the benefits of restorative justice for all. One area of work that Cliff has taken a lead on is with the hate crime awareness courses. He has run many of these courses with offenders who have received out-of-court disposals for hate crimes in the community. Furthermore, he has taken this programme and developed it to be used within the prison setting. Using restorative principles and having restorative conversations with the offenders has resulted in them being able to reflect on the harm caused to their victims. Consequently, there have been referrals to the Restorative Solutions Service and restorative processes carried out where the men have communicated with their victims. Cliff, congratulations on your award. Our next two categories recognise volunteers who have been nominated by members of the public for their outstanding contribution to their local communities, who have gone above and beyond in the contribution they have made in terms of the hours that they've volunteered and the dedication and commitment they have shown. The nominations in the category of the Community Volunteer of the Year are Aaron Kumar Mamalaleni, Karen Lucioni, Neil Youngs, Mohammed Al-Zatani, Frenette Dickens, Sanjay Mole, Margaret Philly and Gemma Paul. Over to you, Commissioner.
The judging of this award was particularly difficult because there were so many nominations of exceptional volunteers, supporting others in so many different ways. But for his work in reaching out to young people with important messages, I'm delighted to announce the winner is Mohammed Al-Zatani from Awaz FM Community Radio in Southampton.
Mohammed has been volunteering at Awaz for some time now, and thanks to him, the station has access to a younger audience. Statistics show that the younger generation are more likely to flout the rules of the current restrictions due to the lockdown. It is therefore important for broadcasters such as Awaz to have on board a young person who is able to relate to the younger generation more easily. The fact that Mohammed's father is a consultant at the local hospital makes his inclusion even more appropriate, necessary and important. Mohammed has been working hard to disseminate information to the younger generation regarding the rules of the current restrictions, as well as giving hard evidence on the need for this, thanks to first-hand information he has received from his father. Together, they are able to give out a message that is important not only to the safety of the younger generation, but also for the safety of the public. Mohammed also has managed to work remotely from home using the latest technology on social media, including Zoom and Skype, amongst others. His show is interactive, meaningful and educational, not only for the younger generation, but also for the wider public listenership. Unfortunately, Mohammed isn't able to watch this live with us this afternoon, as I'm told he's taking his mock exams at the moment. But a member of his family is watching and will no doubt pass on the fantastic news. Congratulations, Mohammed. Now, Commissioner.
Our public have outdone themselves in putting forward candidates for this award. And due to the difficulty in judging the category, I'd like to recognise the runners-up for their outstanding voluntary contribution in helping to keep our communities safer, and their evident outreach into the community by the fact that the community have nominated them. So my congratulations to Aaron Kumar Mubalaleni, Karen Luciani, Neil Youngs, Frenette Dickens, Sanjay Mal, Margaret Philly and Gemma Paul. My congratulations to all of them for the impact they make with our communities that have clearly landed.
The next award recognises young people who have shown commitment and dedication to keep others safer. It's our popular Safer Superhero Award. The shortlisted people are Toby Wilcox from Leon Solent Junior School, Wellstead Primary School Cyber Ambassadors and Cove Junior School Cyber Ambassadors. Commissioner.
There were some very worthy nominations in this category, as in so many of our categories in this celebration of volunteering, but perhaps here more than any other category. It was difficult to pick a winner, and all the young people watching should be very proud of what they've achieved. However, it's my pleasure to announce that the award goes to Wellstead Primary School Cyber Ambassador.
Wellstead Primary School in Hedge End, Southampton enrolled a group of 8 students to take on the role of Cyber Ambassadors in May 2019. Alongside teaching and school commitments, Mrs. Street and the Cyber Ambassadors pulled together an action plan. They vowed to work with peers from Key Stage 1 and 2 using an engaging and interactive approach to share learning and promote cyber education. They have worked tirelessly engaging with peers through assemblies, creating staying safe online characters and an online safety notice board which shares messages with both children and their trusted adults. Their efforts to engage with peers go beyond the classroom. As part of Anti-Bullying Week last year, the Cyber Ambassadors and their teacher launched a cyberbullying poster competition. They received a great amount of entries which were informative, showed understanding and knowledge of e-safety. This evidently showed the powerful impact of peer-to-peer education. Some of the Cyber Ambassadors have now moved on to secondary school, but the school recognised the importance of the role and has recruited a new set of Cyber Ambassadors who received their training at the beginning of this autumn term. Their passion for their roles was evident during their input at a celebration event for Cyber Ambassadors in Winchester alongside their head teacher, where they confidently showcased work that they had completed and interacted with secondary school students and professionals, including the Police and Crime Commissioner and the Chief Constable. Commissioner.
I would also like to give a special commendation to runner-up Cove Junior School Cyber Ambassadors. Your contribution to online safety matters and the difference you are making within your peer group is excellent, and I'd like to recognise Toby Wilcox with a certificate of recognition for raising funds for the local community. Well done.
Please join me in giving all of the Cyber Ambassadors and Toby a huge round of applause. The last and final section of the ceremony contains categories new to this year's Safer Awards. The section features for the first time a Special Recognition Award, which is dedicated to a special volunteer of distinction. Commissioner.
It is with a sense of sadness that I announce the winner of this category. The winner in this category goes to Colin Joyce of the Southampton Youth Offending Service. Colin recently advised the service that he was suffering from significant health issues, and he deliberately didn't reveal the full extent of these, and sadly passed away recently, while still volunteering for the service. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family at this difficult time, and we're pleased that they have said they would like to accept the award for Colin. Colin was a volunteer for Southampton Youth Offending Service and helped to ensure referral order panels ran effectively, something that was acknowledged in an external inspection last year. And it sounds bureaucratic, but it doesn't come without huge impact and input from Colin. Colin was very engaging with the young people he worked with, their parents, and with youth offending service staff. It was always apparent that he wanted the best outcome for the young person and would always be flexible in accommodating rearranged meetings when needed, as he clearly wanted to be involved in the process. Colin was a voice of reason within every panel and had an excellent balance between rehabilitation and responsibility taking. Colin was a great example to newer panel members who I'm sure will have learnt a lot from him. Nothing seemed to faze or deter him, and he never let on how ill he may have been and never moaned about being isolated during lockdown. He vocalised his appreciation for efforts of panel members, families and young people, as well as staff members. It's no surprise he will be missed at these panels. Before joining the Youth Offending Service as a volunteer, Colin was a magistrate appointed to the West Hampshire bench. During his time, he was held in the highest regard by his fellow magistrates and court staff alike. He had a very sensible and reasoned approach to dealing with those before the courts, and Colin sat on both adult and youth benches until July 2016, when he reached the set retirement age of 70. He also had a keen interest in mental health and worked with the local Magistrates Association representative to get mental health diversion workers in the courts for those needing that support. And prior to joining the magistracy, Colin was a Samaritan and on the board of visitors for HM Prison Winchester. It's extraordinary when, even in this short memory of the work that he does, how extensive, how long-term and how comprehensive was his commitment to supporting people who were vulnerable. Colin will be sadly missed by people working within the criminal justice system. His commitment to that system was significant, and he showed this dedication right up until the end of his life. Rest in peace, Colin, and thank you for your service, which will be long remembered, and your engagement with those who are vulnerable, whose life you have positively impacted. My thoughts in this time are with his family. My memory of him is not sad. My memory is a joyous recognition of someone who made an extraordinary difference. And that recognition now is so important as a record and a memory of the value that he has been throughout his life. And I hope the joyous will add to the joyous memories that his family have, even as occasionally they may have noticed his busyness about looking after others.
The next award in this section recognises volunteers who have made an outstanding contribution within the criminal justice system. This is a new category this year to thank the volunteers who undertake a variety of roles to support criminal justice partners such as the courts, probation and in the prisons, providing direct support to people in the criminal justice system. Many volunteers befriend and mentor those in the system and give important information, advice or counselling. Our Chief Constable, Olivia Pinkney, is the current chair of the local Criminal Justice Board, which brings together agencies with the responsibility for delivering criminal justice service for communities in Hampshire and the Isle of Wight.
So one of my roles as Chief Constable is to chair our local Criminal Justice Board. And that brings together agencies from across our geography. So the county, our two cities and the Isle of Wight, and everything from the police through to the Crown Prosecution Service, the Courts and Tribunal Service, our community rehabilitation company and the probation service, the courts and magistracy, the defence community, youth offending services, the list goes on. And we all come together because we have one aim, which is to ensure that our criminal justice system here fulfills all of its purposes. And there are some tough times around that, and there are some tough decisions. But the important thing is that we face them together. And one of the brilliant groups and essential groups within our criminal justice system here across our constabulary area are our volunteers, often unsung heroes, often getting alongside people in their darkest times. But they matter and they make an enormous difference. And as a result, help keep all of our communities safer.
The nominations for Criminal Justice Volunteer of the Year are Gillian Finch from Sisters, Karen Masterman and the Witness Care Unit, and the listeners. Commissioner.
This award goes to a group of volunteer prisoners who have been helping fellow prisoners in their time of need. Congratulations go to the listeners at HM Prison Winchester.
The Listeners is a group of volunteer prisoners that are trained by the Samaritans to support and listen to other prisoners that are in crisis, vulnerable or on the brink of safe harming. This is an unpaid role which is staffed by the Listeners 24/7. There are on average a team of about 8 to 12 people covering the support network to their peers, which at times can be very demanding given the unique environment they are in. The group is very much a safety net for prisoners to reach out to in their time of need and distress. The COVID national restrictions has seen greater time spent in cells by the population and less face-to-face family contact. All of this has put a greater demand on this valuable team. Commissioner.
I have met some of the listener volunteers on previous visits to the prison, and I'm impressed with their commitment and dedication and the positive impact they have on other prisoners who really value their support. So it's very much a win-win arrangement for everybody. There is no doubt this supports the prisoners' mental health and well-being and is an important part of their wider programme of rehabilitation. This has been even more important this year when prisoners have been more confined to their cells because of the COVID restrictions in the prison and unable to see their families. It's for this reason I'll be making a donation of £500 to the listeners. And this money will come from the Keeping Communities Safer During COVID grants round. And it's a recognition of the value that this service provides and a positive presentation that comes alongside the award. The words of the award, which I hope are encouragement, come with a practical input of a small amount of money to support the service. There can only be one winner, but there's also a point in recognising the significant work of the runners-up in this category, and I'd like therefore to offer them a certificate of recognition, and my congratulations go to Gillian Finch, Karen Masterman and the Witness Care Unit for their valuable work, and my thanks to them.
The final award of the afternoon goes to those who have made an exceptional contribution, going above and beyond their role to support the safety of people in the community, victims, witnesses and offenders during the pandemic. Commissioner.
The range and number of those who so richly deserve recognition this year has been significant. The award winners will, I know, have impressed us all. But before we end these awards, there are a number of people I'd like to present a certificate of excellence to for their specific contributions during this time of pandemic. I'd like to award the Commendation for Exceptional Contribution during the coronavirus pandemic, and I will ask Richard to read the citations of those who will receive it. Over to you, Richard.
Thank you, Commissioner. Firstly, Mr. Ali Beg from Awaz FM Community Radio in Southampton for his efforts in getting the mosques in Southampton to agree to broadcast their sermons every Friday on the radio during Ramadan. This meant that people could pray at home in a safe way during lockdown and still feel as part of the congregation during that time. It limited the number of people who were going out or thinking of going out and kept people safe. The elderly and vulnerable were particularly supported by this initiative. Tim McElroy, a volunteer chaplain at HMP Winchester, for his work in the prison chaplaincy team during the start of COVID and increasing his hours to provide much needed pastoral support to those in the care of the prison and its staff. To the offender management charity Spurgeons for their work in offender management at HMP Winchester. The team have worked extremely hard during these exceptional times to support the families of offenders in Winchester and networking with those inside. The family's pathway to reducing reoffending is key to ensuring desistance upon release, and the Spurgeons network have gone over and above to keep the family links strong. To Rachel Lewis and Felicia Andre for setting up a COVID-19 support group in support of the elderly, vulnerable and those needing to shield during the pandemic. They organised a large number of volunteers to help with shopping and prescription pickups, set up a call centre with a dedicated phone number and developed professional processes to help with call tracking. They added a chat service and promoted their services widely. They established the service professionally and very quickly and supported several communities. To Natasha Thirlby-Wolford and Angie Westbrook from Winchester Crown Court. Both Natasha and Angie have worked very hard to make changes in the court to enable cases to be heard again in a COVID-safe way. They've helped to plan, facilitate and deliver 2-metre spacing to be set up in the courtrooms. Changes have been made to ensure that jurors are kept safe while in court, including creating the space so that they can socially distance in the courtroom and the jury return to a second courtroom for their deliberations. It would have been very difficult to get jury trials up and running in the way that they did without them. To Fiona Sullivan and Jen Culver from the local Criminal Justice Board, who saw a dramatic increase in their workload since COVID hit, including the creation of a criminal justice recovery group and associated subgroups. That Fiona and Jen have ably adapted while maintaining their usual high standards under such pressure is remarkable. That so many people in the criminal justice setup are depending on them week in and week out to keep up to date. To keep momentum going through such rapid change is also deeply impressive. That they continue to deliver with patience and good humour is truly a massive credit to them. And finally to the Circle South East team of Jessica Parks, Sandrine McLaughlin, Michaela Jarrett and Nin Williams for their support of a service user who had been convicted of sexual offences that had been facilitated by great absences of life skills, people skills and ability to communicate needs. The group found that the pathway for rehabilitation was not a smooth one. Everyday obstacles that life posed threatened to curtail the progress that the service user made due to the service user's lack of resilience. Combine these everyday problems with additional challenges posed by COVID-19 and the challenge of reintegrating while identifying as a sex offender, and the task was at times overwhelming for the service user. Through the volunteers' intervention, the service user is now more confident, independent, happy and assertive, shifting massively from the behaviours and characteristics that allowed an offending lifestyle to germinate. The volunteers have been committed, responsive and accountable to the community in ensuring a safe integration. Please join me in a round of applause for all commendation recipients. That concludes the formal presentations for this afternoon. Congratulations to everyone who has been presented with a Safer Award, commendation or certificate of recognition. And thank you to you all for watching this year's Safer Award ceremony. Before I pass back to the Commissioner for his closing remarks, I'd like to let you know that winners this afternoon will receive your awards delivered to you, and those who have been awarded a commendation or recognition certificate will receive them in the post. Now back to the Commissioner.
So we come to the end of this celebration of volunteering and recognition of those who have done extraordinary things to protect our communities through their volunteering. The value that volunteers add to the work of the Constabulary and the wider criminal justice system, to partners and the community, is enormous. It is an added value force multiplier, energy creator, and an ability for us to hear impactful voices, informed voices within our organisations to make sure we are hearing the widest range of voices to protect all of our communities and to understand their needs and their vulnerabilities too. Without you and your colleagues and your supporting families, we would not be able to deliver all that we do to keep our communities safer. I'd like to finish with the two most important words, thank you, and to reinforce that and to wish you and all those you love to remain safe in these difficult times. Thank you and well done to everybody.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I want to say a final thank you. It's a thank you to the team who have helped to pull this event together, including the team who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. Please stay safe, and we hope to see you all in person in 2021.